Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Cabinet Vision Guy. In today's episode we're going to be taking a look at importing models again, and specifically we're going to take a look at how we can import a model and then save it away into our library so it can be quickly inserted into an assembly case opening. So if I just go into section editor and section interior, you'll see that I've got a set of books in here, and if I just click in any case opening, I can then click object and just head into my decorative models, and I've got a set of books to insert here that we're going to be building today. And if I just click the little plus, you'll see that the models inserted are nicely placed in the center of the shelf for me. So the first thing I need to do is I need to import myself a model that we're going to use for decoration. So I'm just going to hit return and then head into utilities and then import SketchUp model. And then I can pick out my books that I've already downloaded and I can hit open. And I'm going to run through this quickly. If you're not quite sure what to do when we're setting part types, go back and watch the previous episode where we ran through how to import this and just assign the different part types and save it away. Now, one tip when we're importing models is with this particular one, because we're going to insert this into essentially case opening, we want to make sure that the face of the model is actually looking at us. So if your model's come in and it's slightly rotated around, you'll just want to flip either the X or possibly the X, Y and Z until it appears correct from a face on view. So once I've selected my part types, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this one away. And I'm going to save it into decorative models. I'm not going to save it into a subcategory. I'm just going to leave it at the root for now. And I'm going to head into advanced. And what I want to do is I want to choose decorative. And I'm going to set it to be a miscellaneous. For the placement, I'm not going to put it on wall, and I'm going to set the placement to float. Now with this particular model, what you might want to do is set the placement to something like a countertop, if you plan to sort of drop this model onto countertops and surfaces. So if it's something like a coffee machine or a kitchen appliance, you might want to set countertop. For me, I'm going to set this one to float because this model is actually going to go inside another container model, as you'll see in a second. I am going to enable stretching. From there, I can leave preserves blank and alias as well, and I can hit OK, and then I can pick a suitable icon. I'm just going to pick the book from here and give it a suitable name. Now if I head over to objects and into decorative models, I can just drag in books 2. And if I just pick this up, we'll see that when I actually stretch out the size of this assembly, and I'll make it smaller on one side and bigger on another, what it's actually doing is it's stretching the model. And if we double click and head down to face view, we'll actually see that on the model itself we've got quite a lot of equations here, and these are automatically added to each part of the model as we import it in to make sure that everything remains parametric around its parent assembly. Now what that means is if we want to insert this model, so if I head down to my assembly into this opening, for instance, if I go to section and section interior again, what it's going to do is it's going to try and essentially fill the model that I'm using to the space that's available. Now what I need to do is I need to make sure for this particular type of model, I need to make sure that this is within a container so it remains a certain size, so it looks visually correct for me. To set this up, I need to create a parent container for my model to sit within. My model will remain parametric to its own assembly, but it will be a sub-assembly of the parent container. It'll make more sense in a second, I promise. So to set this up, I've headed over to Catalog Editor, and if you go down to search and just type in Catalog Editor, and you'll see Cabinet Vision 2025, and if you open that one up, you should see what I'm seeing on screen, but with your own catalogs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head into Decorative Models, and you'll see that I've already got a decorative container in here already. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to click New Assembly. And then I'm going to choose Decorative. And again, I'm going to select Miscellaneous. And I'm going to call this one Container. And I'm happy leaving the width, height and depth set at 500, but I'm going to hit OK. And what it's going to do is it's going to show me an empty assembly, which I'm quite happy with. So I'm going to hit return, and it's going to ask me, do I want to save changes to the container, which we do, obviously. So what I can then do is I can go back to advanced, and I can select placement and turn on stretching for this one as well. And again, I'm going to set this one to float and hit OK. And for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a different icon. I'm just going to choose a star, and I'm going to hit OK. So with that set, I'm going to close down Catalog Editor and head back to Cabinet Vision. Now I'm back in Cabinet Vision. What I'm going to do is I'm going to head to Objects, I'm going to head into Decorative Models, and I'm going to grab my container, and I'm just going to drag and drop it into the room that I'm in at the moment. And you'll see that it essentially just adds an empty container for me. So what I can do is I can double click this to get down to assembly level. And if I head into 3D, you'll see that it's completely empty. So if I go back to face view, I think I'll do this from plan. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to head to Objects and then Decorative Models, and I'm going to grab my books and just drag them in on assembly level. And now, because I've put essentially my model inside another container, what I can do is I can select and make intelligent my model without affecting any of the parts to it. So I don't need to go through all of the different parts to make those intelligent around its parent. I can do it from within this one. So what I can do with this is I can add a little bit of intelligence. Now, the different intelligence that you want to add to this depends on the type of object that you brought in or model. So obviously on this one, I've got a set of books, and what I want to do is I want to place this in the center of the container. But if I had some books that were placed another way, I'd probably want to stretch this in width to match the width of the container as well. So what I'm going to do for this is, again, I'm just going to set this to be the center of the container. So I'm going to use an equation. So I'm going to set this to use the parent dx, and I'm going to take away the width, which is the dx of the model that we've just imported in. And then I'm going to divide that by 2, and I'm going to copy this out. And I'm going to paste it into the equation for the z position as well. And then instead of dx, I'm going to use dz. And then if I just spin this around in 3D, we'll now see a set of books, and this is in the center. If I return out onto room level, we'll see a little bit better. You'll see that this is in the center of our container. Now, if I stretch this, you'll see that what it should do is remain in the center, but without stretching the model that's contained within. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save this one away into my library. And now what I can do is head back to my assembly, into section view, head to section interior, click on any of the openings that I've got, head into object, and select our new model to insert. So what I'm going to do to insert this, I'm just going to click the green plus next to it, and then it's going to place it right in the center. Again, if these books were placed sort of vertically, what you might want to do is the intelligence for the width you might want to keep, so the books are always set to fill this space. In the next episode, we're going to use the same technique to place an appliance within a case opening to make that a little bit easier as well. Hopefully you found this useful. Feel free to give us a like, share and subscribe. We're also on Facebook. That's facebook.com/thecabinetvisionguy, and Instagram too. That's instagram.com/thecabinetvisionguy. Cheers.